amazing performance. Can't believe it. Anneke Langvaart lights up the Western Cape to lead this year's World Cup. Jolanda Neff crosses the line to take her 10th career World Cup win. One of these is going to launch an attack. So Anneke Langvaart goes, she gets the jump on Jolanda Neff. Anneke Langvaart makes it 3 wins in Novia Mesto. She's pedaling hard, she's going for it, she's done it. And again, she's back. Can anyone else join the winner's circle? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Val di Sole for the second day of action. Today, it's the turn of the cross-country racers to take to the track. So joining me is a man who has done for mountain biking what Russell Crowe did for the Romans. It is our very own gladiator, Bartosz Brentunius. Have you had an intro like that?
I like it. More of that, please.
Good. Okay, Bart. 5 weeks have passed. What have you been up to?
Yeah, it hasn't been easy for a team manager. The work always starts when the races are done or when the races come up again, and that's what I did. And I'm happy to be here again.
Okay, well, there's been a busy off 5 weeks as well for some of the racers. Some of them have been riding their bikes, and some of them have managed to take a few days off.
In this summer break, I stayed at home in Copenhagen. Doing something outside of the racing setting is quite nice. Copenhagen is a really beautiful city, has a really nice vibe to it.
It was a little break from racing, but I was quite busy and it was more stressful than racing because I had my final exams at the university, and then I was so free, I felt so good that actually it was like not a big deal to get back to the racing mode.
First I had some week of break because we had really tiring first part of the season. So I did like 1 week without the bike at all. So I did some trekking, hiking with my mom and friends. The area is really beautiful. You don't need to go far away to really rest.
Well, the summer break for me actually wasn't really a break. I practically raced every weekend, so I didn't do like the big races, but still UCI races, just to get the training intensity in the body and to get ready for the upcoming World Cups.
I went with a camper van together with my mum, so we just drove that together, and we camped wild up in the pass in the mountains. So you need to take care of your own water and electricity and so on. So I love to be in the mountains then, and you feel one with the nature.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter what you've been up to, you've got to enjoy this European summer. It's absolutely sensational. Actually, in those 5 weeks, though, we had some really unfortunate news. The fact that Helen Grober, who did have her best ever World Cup finish in Stellenbosch at the start of the year, has taken an extended break from the sport. Here's her Instagram post, which roughly translated is saying, "I need a break for my body and my mind. I don't know when I'll be back, if at all. And just thank you to everyone in the mountain bike family." I mean, but what do you know about that? A shame, eh?
Yeah, it's a shame, especially when you have a result like that. It's hard to say exactly what's wrong with Helen Grober for body and mind, she said. She decided to have a little bit time for herself and see what's wrong actually, and try to find out and try to get back as well. But it will be a hard time for her.
Sure. I mean, what a shame. We saw the same actually with the Olympic champion, Jenny Rissved. What is it that's happening at the moment, Bart? Has the sport changed? Does it have to take up every minute of every day of your life?
Yeah, and don't forget Rissved as well. I mean, she doesn't race at all too.
No.
I wouldn't say the sport has been changed, but I think it's also a personal story for everybody. But the riders, they feel the pressure. They feel the pressure of performing week by week. They feel the pressure from the media, the teams, the agreements what they have. And all these little things, the way they live it as well, sometimes it's hard for them.
Yeah, of course. And there is no question that pressure is a massive part of any professional sport. How you deal with it can make or break you.
One thing is the pressure of the result, but the other thing is also like traveling, being away of home and your family for a long time. So you really need to know how to handle that, and you need to have great people around you.
The mental part of high performance is really tough, and I don't think people quite understand it. But with other riders starting to expose the difficulties that we do go through, I think it's good to share and for people to understand.
I think it's just too much pressure, and then on the other point you have the training. You want to compete well, you want to be successful. Yeah, sometimes for me it's also hard, but you need the right people around you.
So clearly there's a lot more for a professional cyclist than just riding the bike. Okay, let's go back to that last race in Novia Mesta. It was a fascinating battle between Jolanda Neff and Annika Langvad. Fair to say you have been hugely impressed with Langvad's power as we look at this sprint finish.
Yeah, Langvad, she was very strong in the uphills, but Jolanda, definitely she was the fastest in that last descent to the finish line. But with that long straight to the finish line in Nova Mesto, yeah, Langvad put down all her horsepower and she won it actually, easily.
Yeah, she did. I mean, does sprinting literally come down to just horsepower?
No, not at all in mountain biking. I mean, on the road it is like that, but in mountain biking, positioning at the end with a lot of corners just before finish line, and most of the time there's after the descent, the finish line will be there. So positioning and good descending, it's even important as well.
Okay, well, there is definitely a lot more than meets the eye to the art of sprinting.
Here comes Shatter! And now Jana Balamoin is in a sprint finish. It's going to be a drag race then to the finish line!
Sprinting in its purest form is an art.
Well, to ask me about sprint finishes, I think I'm the wrong person for that, because for me the best is to ride solo and to finish on my own. So in any race, I think my goal is always to be alone, because then I am safe.
Langvad closes it down though.
Here is a quick guide to a successful sprint finish.
The thing is, you can't really prepare for them. I go very much by intuition and by feel. I think that's kind of the key things.
Who will it be? Who's got anything left in the tank after an hour and 20 minutes of all-out racing?
Lesson 1. Always try to be in the right position.
I have done some road races in the past, and this is what helps you a lot to find a good position. It just is the racing instinct, something that you have in you or you don't have it. Yeah, when you do more races with tactics involved, of course you get better on it.
Neff at the front, takes a look over her shoulder. Here comes the attack.
Lesson 2. Always know when to attack.
Yeah, you have to watch a lot what your opponents are doing, for sure. And yeah, you have to feel also how you're going, and where you feel strong and where you feel the other one is stronger. It makes it for such exciting racing, both for us riders but also for the spectators.
Lesson 3. Get back up again and repeat lessons 1 and 2.
I mean, looking at that, Bart, Langvad is like a V8 in a straight line. Neff didn't have anything for it at the end of that race. Is Langvad the best sprinter in the women's field?
I wouldn't say it like that. When it comes down to horsepower, yes, but when it comes down to positioning, what Jolanda Neff said as well, it's different. And I think Jolanda, she's fast too.
I mean, it's hard to really argue with Langvad's form, though. She's won all 3 short track races. There's usually a sprint finish. For those of you who have missed it at home, it's a new discipline for the Cross Country World Cup. It happens just before the race. Bart's going to explain it to you.
Yeah, this has been the third short track race ever. It's a 25 minutes short cross country race. No difficult obstacles. Riders, they have to use the same bikes for the whole weekend, and the UCI points, what they can earn, means a lot for them for the overall standing.
It really does, and for the start position for today's race. This is what happened on Friday.
The third ever cross-country short-track race lived up to everyone's expectations. The big question before the race: could Denmark's Annika Langvad make it 3 out of 3 short-track wins?
It's super difficult to say. This course is very different to the previous one, so yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely gonna give it my best.
Langvart's biggest rival for the overall, Switzerland's Jolanda Neff, set a high pace from the beginning. But she couldn't keep the speed throughout the 10-lap race.
No, not really. I mean, I was quite optimistic and I thought I'd just go and see how it will turn out. And I mean, afterwards you always know better. And yeah, I mean, I thought I will play my card. I will see what happens. But the only thing that happens was that my legs were quite dead. And I mean, then on a track like this, you really pay the price.
Conny Ferrand-Prévot showed another strong performance, but it was the Danish rider who took control of the race with Anne Tauber and Alexandra Keller right on her wheel.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it, but it was really hard as well. So yeah, I looked strong and I'm happy with my result, and yeah.
On the penultimate lap, the overall leader attacked and opened up a gap to secure the short track hat-trick.
It was definitely not easy. I was a little bit more nervous going into this race than the previous ones because I know that, it's a little bit of pressure on when you had 2 wins in a row. And so no, it was just attack up that climb. And in the end, it was just a question about endurance.
Anne Tauber rode away from her competitor and finished second. And Alessandra Keller secured another Swiss podium with a 3rd place. 45-year-old Gunrita Dahle once again proved that she could keep up in a high-intensity race. Riders from 9 different nations made up the top 10.
No doubt it's an incredibly intense and physical 20-25 minutes, but it does carry, as Bart said, points. And Annika Langvard took another 125 points on Friday. This is what the updated World Cup standings look like with that added. But Neff, though, still only just 108 points back. Nothing in it.
No, nothing in it. And especially when you know 250 points riders can earn today. Everything is still wide open.
It is. We're going to see another battle today. Here's the track.
The Val di Sole cross-country course is 4 kilometers in length, features 160 meters of climbing, and is one of the fastest of the year, with average speeds expected to top 20 kilometers per hour. X-Class Dolomiti Rocks, a 15-meter-long man-made garden of jagged rocks, where line choice is key. GoPro Climb, a steep white climb with a 17% gradient, perfect for overtaking. Evolve Pump Track, a brand new feature for this year where getting the right flow will be essential. Double Feed Zone. There are 2 opportunities to take on fuel and gain technical support. Val di Sole Bikeland Full Gas, a 370-meter-long fast uphill where the race has been decided in the past.
Mark, looking at that, am I right in thinking this is a track of 2 halves, as it was?
It is, yeah. That first part, it's the most technical part, the most climbing as well, a lot of cornering. And that second part, when it comes to the finish line again, there you need the horsepower. And of course, that last section to the finish line is technical and fast too.
Okay, it's extremely hot today. We've got 5 previous winners of this race in the women's field to make it even tougher. Who's your money on for the win?
So I have to choose a new name again, Anne Tauber.
Anne Tauber.
Anne Tauber.
Okay, well, to find out if he's right, stay with us. All the action from round 4 to Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup is upcoming. Commentary available in English, German and Portuguese. We'll be right back.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now.
This weekend we're in the northwest corner of Italy in Val di Sole. In the winter, this valley is home to some of the region's finest ski resorts, but once the snow melts away, it reveals the Dolomites as an amazing destination for mountain biking. Over the last decade, this venue has become a regular stop for World Cups, as well as hosting the highly prestigious World Championships back in 2008. So Bart, in for a great afternoon's racing. Two big races. The women's up now, and it's going to be pretty tough out there, I think, Bart, don't you, with the heat?
The conditions are very hot this afternoon. Blue sky, the sun is out, and it's very warm around the start-finish area.
Going to be a start loop plus 6 laps for the women. A few changes to the course, as we said, which haven't made it any easier, but I guess in this heat, one of the big things for me is just how exposed a lot of this track is. There's no shade all along that bottom section.
No, not along that bottom section. There's a bit of shade when it comes in that second part, that long straight just before the last descent to the finish line.
Okay, Yolanda Neff, excuse me, Bart, to the line. The reigning world champion, of course.
Finished 8th in the short track from Friday.
Hence the front row position for her. Emily Batty. 3 times a Canadian and national champion. Back across the other side we go. Annie Last from Great Britain. The winner of the Lenzerheide World Cup race last year, where actually the World Championships are being held later this year. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, a woman of many talents.
And she might be one of the favourites for today too.
Yeah. A former Olympic champion, the most successful World Cup racer of all time. From Norway, Gunn Rita Dahler. Back across we go. From, I guess, the oldest on the front row to one of the youngest. Alessandra Keller, 22 years old.
You're right with that, that's for sure.
Yeah. Keller, another rider with a strong performance in Friday's short track. Anna Tauber. Bart, rides for you. Incredible season so far.
Yeah, already twice third place in the cross-country race. Second last Friday.
Your pick for the win today.
Pick for today.
She can't hear, no pressure.
I had to choose a different name.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, this is the woman that they all have to beat. The winner of 2 World Cups already this year. From Denmark, 34 years old, the 2016 world champion, Annika Langvad. And Elizabeth Brandau there, Germany on the second row.
With Sabine Spitz,
right
Germany
behind her.
too.
Yeah, another German rider right behind her there in the white as well. So here is your start list.
The top 16 is the result from the short track race from Friday.
76 riders in this race, 31 different nations represented. And we've got the Olympic road race champion, right, in there somewhere, Bart?
Yeah, Anna van der Breggen, the number 76.
Well, let's have a word with her. She's with Rick.
We're joined by Olympic road race champion Anna van der Breggen this weekend. How are you enjoying the World Cup so far?
At the moment I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, this week has been already a big experience and really nice to be here. I absolutely have no idea what to expect with the start and with the first laps, but yeah, I will see, and I try to do my best.
Well, thanks very much, Anna. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Okay, to the line we go then. Things are about to get underway. Round 4 gets underway, then it's going to be a furious and fast start. Yolanda Neff, usually some contact there as they come up this start straight.
Yeah, the start straight is absolutely not easy. A lot of bumpy grass over here. You see the bikes are dancing on that part of the course. The first part, this is the start lap. It's a bit different. Half of this lap, it's part of a full lap.
Right on. And then they kind of come around to start lap 1 proper after this then. So, it looked to me like Chloe Woodruff there right at the front. Yolanda Neff, of course. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot as well somewhere there. Is that a crash? They look like they were slowing up there, Bart.
Sometimes when it's so bumpy, it's really dangerous. The riders are very close together still at the moment. And of course, there's only one line which is really good to ride. And you can see some big gaps, what you said. Probably there has been a crash.
It did look like the riders at the back there looking like they had the anchors on as they went out of shot. Anyway, Gunrita Dala coming around the outside in the lilac kit. Going for World Cup win at number 30 in her last. Well, she did actually say she's announced her retirement, but she may carry on. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot behind her. Yeah. Neff in the white. Keller in the red and black. Woodruff there in the stars and stripes. And Emily Batty on the blue bike with the maple leaf on her back.
Well, it seems to be there has been a crash in the beginning of the field. Somewhere in the front. Missing Anna Tauber, for example.
Here comes Sabine Spitz. One big name missing actually from the start here today is Catherine Pendrell, recovering from injury, but back on the road bike. So hopefully we won't see her next week, but she should be back from Mont Saint-Anne with any luck. She won't want to miss that one. Kalentieva goes through in 14th. Maja Brzozowska down there in 17th at the moment.
Belomoina 19.
The Couch 23rd, a former winner here. Last back in 29th, but
yeah, that's another girl but something went wrong in that start.
Van der Breggen goes through in 36th. But why is Anna Van der Breggen the Olympic road race champion here? Has she got her eyes on Tokyo or for mountain biking, or what is it? Do you know?
She loves this sport. She has been with us as an invitation, riding a stage race earlier this last year, I have to say, in the Costa Blanca bike race in Spain, as a guest rider in our team, and she loves.
How did she get on?
She won the race.
Annika, is this Lagbad pulling out? And maybe there was a pile up. It looks like she's hurt her wrist there.
Yeah.
So perhaps a crash we didn't see. Well, this is terrible news actually for the Danish rider. Looks to be in some discomfort there as well. We'll keep you updated on that as we find out more about it. But big news then, Annika Langvad.
But it's like you said, also Annie Last and Anna Tauber. Annie Last was far back in that start. Anna Tauber we didn't see either. But
so perhaps
Langvad is out of the race.
Yeah, we're still guessing. We will find out for you very shortly indeed what has happened on this start loop, but a little bit further down, back on the grass. So it's Gunrita Dala there, the number 8, the number 20 coming through, Anne Terpstra
from the Netherlands.
Not scared. Jana Belomoina, last year's overall World Cup winner.
She finished second here last year, and Yolanda Neff won this race.
Yes. And she'll be spurred on by that, of course. Belomoina still returning from injury, really, Bart.
She had a broken hip last winter. She's back in a good shape already, but it costs, I think, even some energy during the winter, but you will you have to pay for it during the season, or you lost some training, some base training. But she worked really hard the last 5 weeks to get back in a good shape. She already finished the second earlier this year in Elbstadt, and I think we will expect more of her even next week, because it suit her really well.
Now this part is the final descent back to the finish for every lap from now on. The race usually decided at the top of this before they come down.
Yeah, they have to be in the right position at the top of this before this descent starts. After that, in this descent, it's really hard to overtake each other. But they have a lot of speed, they carry on a lot of speed, and after that it's a lot of corners and really hard to overtake each other. You can see also already small gaps between the riders, so it's really hard if it comes to a sprint to overtake each other.
Well, it's Anne Terpstra that is really setting the pace, and it's a high pace at the front at the moment. 10th here last year, Terpstra. There goes Neff, Gunrita Dala. Batty, I believe, went through there. Keller, Courtney.
Fabrabenko.
Marbushtovska there with a number 6. So out they go now, 6 laps then.
And it's going really fast.
Now you're going to see the first climb for real on this course, which has undergone a little bit of a makeover since last year.
Yeah, there have been some changes, I think in a good way. It's even more technical, a lot of turns, cornering in the new sections, and even some wide lines where riders can choose different lines, especially in the descents, which makes it very interesting to ride on this course.
And he last 29th, just ahead of the Olympic road race champion in 30th.
Anna van der Breggen in the orange.
Yes, so going back, she won that
67
race,
number plate.
She won that race as a guest for you. How good is she at mountain biking? Could she push for the win today? And there is Annika Langvad. I believe it's a hand injury to that left hand, but clearly in a lot of discomfort there.
That doesn't look good at all.
No, it looks terrible.
Yeah, you can see she has a lot of pain. Her body language, what she's explaining without saying anything. I mean, you can see a wrist injury.
We did not want to see that today. And, well, you can only feel for Annika Langvad, the series leader. Let's hope it's not as serious as it looks. So here they come onto this long climb then.
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
Back to the front now. Keller on the number 5. Stalking everyone over there on the right of screen. Neff, the number 2. Pace looks to have settled a little bit now, Bart.
Yeah, even probably these women, they are, don't know exactly what went wrong in that start after that crash, probably from Langvad. And of course, they have to regroup right now. They don't. There's no leader. Maybe they're looking for
Lindegan.
Langvad.
What's that there? A puncture, or it looks a little bit more terminal than that, actually.
Probably she had a crash to her number plate. Is off the bike.
Yes, that's very well spotted, Bart. And her shorts are actually ripped as well. Well, I'm going to say that there was a pile-up that we didn't see.
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, she's now leading.
And Anna Talbot, 57th, I just saw go across the bottom of the screen there. So, again, we're guessing, but it does look like there's been an incident that might have involved a lot of the top riders on that start line.
Yeah, Langvad, Indragant, and he lost Anna Tauber, so there must have been a crash in the first few rows.
A wild race already then here in Val di Sole, Italy. This isn't the top of the first climb, it goes on after this as well. But it's Pauline Ferrand-Prévot at the front at the moment.
And Jolanda Neff, a different tactic from what she had last Friday when she ran away immediately from the start and she blew up a little bit in that short track. Finished 8th still, first row for this start today. Taking it a bit more easy today. But I think that's a good tactic because it's hot and it's a long race.
Yeah, exactly. We do see her sometimes pay the penalty for riding away, although it worked for her in Alpstadt this year, I suppose it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Different day, different conditions.
Very different conditions.
Very different conditions, yeah.
Eva Lechner from Italy.
Okay, let's go down to Rick, who is with Linda Andergan. We might get some light shed on what's gone on.
Linda, we see you've just pulled out of the race. Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, it's always hectic in the start, and then it was getting narrow, and then some rider ride together, and then it was a huge crash, and the riders in the rear came over us, and yeah.
Was this the same crash that Annika Langvad was in?
Yes.
Unlucky today, Linda. We hope to see you back soon.
Okay, thanks.
Well, Linda looking a bit shook up. Oh, I think it was a massive crash, don't you?
Almost in tears,
Yeah.
And even she couldn't explain exactly what went wrong. She said, bottleneck. So riders close together.
Someone went down. It sounded like riders piling into him from behind, from what we gather there. So anyway, well.
So that's why the start is always so important. And they knew as well it's dangerous, even when it's a long flat, to stretch the field. I mean, still it's riders close together, wide handlebars, a bumpy course, especially when the grass is high.
Yeah,
you don't see the holes.
And
dangerous.
Actually, just been told that Linda Indegand can't continue because her frame is broken by the impact of that crash. So it was definitely a heavy one. Okay, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot leads Jolanda Neff. These two have battled many times in the past. Ferrand-Prévot, a phenomenal talent on any set of handlebars you put her behind.
Cyclocross, roads, it doesn't matter.
World champion in all those disciplines.
This is one of the new sections in that first part of the course, which is really nice for the riders to ride. Technical parts, a lot of rocks over there, and steep climbing.
This might turn into a fascinating battle this afternoon.
Emily Betty, good start for her.
And Bart, it's a massive opportunity for these two. I not want to say that they're going to take advantage of someone else's misfortune, but 2 and 3 in the World Cup. Annika definitely out. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but even for her with her wrist, and you see when you have to pull out a race, it means it's a serious injury.
Yes.
And it's not only probably for one race, but it will take probably a bit longer. That's what I think, but that's hard to say at the moment.
Okay. So, well.
So this is the top of the whole course, highest point. After that, the descent. They take a few paths from the forecourse. Fast descending. Rock garden at the bottom. Closely together.
Well, we know how fast Jolanda Neff can be on the descent.
She's pushing it a bit.
Different lines. It's content enough at the moment, but it's early in this race, of course.
Yeah, but I think it's a good tactic for Jolanda.
To stay there?
Yeah, to stay there.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is. The conditions are hard for the riders. They have to take a lot of drinks to them. Not only with energy in it, but also just water to cool down the neck, the body. You will see it later. There's a double tack feed zone. And actually, Jolanda's passing.
So, well, I guess if you're feeling that comfortable on this technical descent, you might as well gain yourself a little bit of an advantage for free. Almost for free. Comes down to skills, though, not the power of the legs on that part of the track.
Why not? If you can make it here, that's the skills of Jolanda.
On a hardtail today, Bart.
Yeah, riders, they have to use the same bike for the short track and cross-country race. Of course, the short track, where there are no difficult obstacles, the hardtail bike is the fastest.
Especially on this short track race with that climb in it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, do you think Jolanda would be on a full suspension bike?
Not on a course like this.
No.
I think it's a fast course with a lot of steep climbing, and a hardtail bike is still the lightest bike they can choose. Fully is always a bit heavier, especially for the women. They don't have the power as the men do. For the men's category, mostly the riders choose the full suspension bike, which is always a bit heavier. But for Jolanda, probably she has the skills and she feels a bit better with that hardtail. Here is Maja Zazowska, her teammate.
Lonely at the front for these two at the moment.
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot stronger again on the next climb.
The current world champion Jolanda Neff, don't forget Pauline Ferrand-Prévot has been a mountain bike world champion, twice a junior mountain bike world champion back in 2009 and 2010. So she is no stranger to it, done plenty of mountain biking in recent years, of course. But she still races on the road a little bit.
She does a lot.
That's for Jolanda now.
And she won the Nationals Championships road.
For Switzerland, Jolanda, yeah?
In the women's category.
That's impressive.
It's impressive if you can do both. I mean, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot does it as well. But from Jolanda, we knew she started in mountain biking and combining the road too now at the moment.
Well, we think that this is the crash that Annika Langvad was involved in. Very hard to see, actually, from here. There you go, right at the front of the pack. Someone's gone down and, well, yeah, it's a huge pile-up.
Yes, must be that one.
It almost brought the entire field to a halt behind her.
She pulled out immediately. She didn't continue that first lap of the course. means it's a serious injury for
Yeah,
sure.
does look it. Let's hope it's not a broken wrist or
That's what we saw here too.
something like that.
It's always a really bad feeling for a rider. You have to go to hospital, X-rays to check out what's really going wrong. Not what you like to have.
Perhaps even more annoying if, you're just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, that's how the start goes.
Yeah. So, anyway, Emily Batty onto the back wheel now. The leading two become three.
She never won a World Cup, Emily Batty.
Incredible.
She came close many times.
She's been second several times. Second in Cairns in 2014. Peter Maritzburg back in 2012, but yet never won one.
Rita coming back to this three women leading group. Keller, the youngest rider in the field. Here's Jana Bellemoine, the winner of the World Cup in 2017. Finished second in Alps already earlier this year, and this course suits her really well too.
She's a climber. She likes the climbs.
The steep climbs that we have here in Val di Sole.
Kate Courtney there in seventh. That's impressive. She's actually had a knee injury and had to take a few weeks off the bike during that 5-week period. I think she surprised herself a little bit in short track on Friday. But coming into this race, I know Emily Batty has been, nearly 3 weeks living in Livigno in Italy.
Altitude.
Yeah, and that's not for this race. I guess or is it for this, but more for next week?
Yeah, it will also help to perform better on, I wouldn't say this is sea level. I think it's still like 800 meters height, but it helps a lot to perform better on sea level, but it helps a lot and be better prepared for a race like we have next week at 2,000 meters altitude where the start finish is. So, and a lot of riders, they did that altitude training. Kate Courtney did it as well. She did it in the US. So she had to travel still. She felt the jet lag still, what the US and the Canadian riders most of the time have in the first World Cup in Europe when they come over. But it's a good choice, I think, for Emily Batty to do her altitude training here in Europe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely gets you more acclimatized.
So a group of 6
now. It's becoming bigger, yeah.
Back to them as well, almost.
So this is the long climb back up towards the top of that final descent down.
Yeah, when it comes to the last lap and riders are still together, if they are riding right now, they have to fight really hard for their best position, because after that descent, and during the descent, it's really hard to overtake each other. Keller struggling with that high speed of the group.
Desperately trying to get on to the back wheel of them.
It's Pauline van Ampervo who is leading at the moment here in the descent. Gunrita second. And even when it comes down with a group like this, the riders, they feel from each other as well. Who is the fastest, who is struggling with some of the parts, some rocky sections, what the riders have to do here in this part of the course. And then they knew exactly where they have to attack, which position where they have to be, especially when it comes to that last descent to the finish line.
Gunrita looking good at the moment, Bart. This is the track she could go well on. Take that 30th World Cup win.
She's aiming for that. Did she win here ever? Must be, or not? Is she not one of these?
She never did win it, no.
She might be one of these, the next new one.
She might be. In fact, no woman has ever won here twice. Some big rock drops down there.
Brandau from Germany, the mom with 2 kids.
She's got her hands full on and off the bike, that's for sure. So water being thrown over the shoulders, already trying to cool themselves down.
Teammates, Aya Zozowska and Jana Bellemoine. Sorry, Jolanda Neff.
You'd have something to say if she'd switched teams and not told you. So here they come across the line then. That one done. Nothing in it between the top 5. A very small gap back to Keller, who is going to be desperate to get back on the leading pack, I think.
Maybe she might make it in that next part where it's more technical, where the speed goes down a little bit.
Here comes Kate Courtney. 6th place in Albstadt. her first year as an elite racer.
That injury, that knee injury, didn't affect her that much.
Doesn't seem to, does it? No, I think she was more worried about the time she had off. But I guess, can that actually be a positive thing?
Sometimes it is, yeah. Sometimes riders need to have a rest period and they don't take it. So they have to pay the price for it afterwards. But when they have to take it because of an injury, sometimes they perform even better afterwards.
Do you find it easy to take breaks in training?
No, it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard for your mind.
Yeah, you can't, yeah, it ruins you. So there they go. Back onto the first climb. Keller turning those pedals, trying to get back onto the rear wheel.
Did a very good race last Friday in that short track where she finished third.
Yes, she did. Still competing as an under-23 rider, right?
It is, yeah.
Moved up to the
She
elite
became
early.
national champion in Switzerland in the women under-23 category. So she will ride that race in Lenzerheide later this season as well in her own category.
So Palin Fran Prevost stomping up this climb.
It's a steep one.
Pace. Yeah, it is.
And with that loose gravel, hard for the riders to find traction. So they have to sit on the saddle. Pauline Fran Prevost doing a lot of work in that leading group.
She seems to be setting the pace, Bart. She's been really strong though. Second in Stellenbosch at the start of the year, 9th in Halbstadt and 3rd in Novia Mesto. So she's, she had a couple of years really where she had back injury and a few problems with allergies, but looks to be getting back to where we know
it's true.
She should be at the front, right at the front.
For sure. She's setting the pace right now. Actually, more of the women can follow her, so it means it's not full gas, but at least it's the best position as well, especially where the technical parts of the course are. And it's more difficult for the riders to ride that close to each other. And Keller came back behind Maja Zazowska.
Done it. She's got on the wheel there. Whether she can stay there or not might be another story. So Fran Prevost at the front at the moment. And looking at her bike part, she's the only woman in this leading pack on a full suspension today. Not that bad on the climbs anymore then.
No. The Canyon, the new full suspension bike.
Van der Breggen there inside the top 30. Did you expect to see her pushing for podiums today? Or?
Van der Breggen?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Even if she can do between 10 and 20 would be already a great performance of her. I mean, what she said, she did a lot of practice on the course and she learned a lot. And she did actually really well earlier this year in Cyprus. She did that 4-day stage race by herself. And there was a technical cross-country race as well at the end, where she finished 4th at what I thought. But World Cup courses are even more difficult. A higher level, more strong riders.
This is the pinnacle of it. It doesn't get any stiffer than this, the competition, all the tracks.
Also what we saw just before, it's a new section as well. They widened it a little bit, so different lines. And for the riders, it's always difficult to choose which one is the fastest because they have so many opportunities over there. And these sections suits that full suspension bike a lot. Anna Tauber.
23rd at the moment, but can she move her way forward from there?
Together with Annie Last.
Yeah, there are a couple of big names a little way back, actually.
These two, they were in that crash involved as well.
That's it. That's what it's messed up a lot of people's day.
Rieder, the number 63. Nadine Rieder.
Back to the leaders.
Anna van der Breggen, Olympic champion from the road in Rio. And she loves to ride the mountain bike. Suffering at the moment.
You can see it actually, Bart, yeah. Not an easy sport to come in and master, mountain biking?
I mean, you need to have the skills. You need to have the good feeling with the bike. It's not only the descents, the rocky or dangerous and steep descents that you have to take, but also the cornering, the position on the bike. And yeah, you have to get used to it, and it's not that easy for many riders to switch from road immediately to mountain bike and perform well. Pauline van Provaux is one of these who can do that. Jolanda Neff, she became national champion, so she's one of them too. But
they're very different disciplines. Did you ever have a go at road racing?
I did a lot of road.
You did?
Yeah, and also for training. Yeah.
And with success?
I won like the mountain jersey in one of the stage races, but as a preparation for the mountain bike sport. These days it's more difficult to combine both disciplines because riders have agreements with different sponsors, and these sponsorships they disturb actually the good mix of the road team and the mountain bike.
Yeah, very difficult to. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, both very professional sports.
It is. So Jolanda Neff, she knew she's a bit faster than Pauline van Provaux in that descent, and she takes the first place here, just before the top.
And she will, no doubt, as we watch her come down here, attack this descent.
Settle down.
Wild on the downhills, Jolanda. Wildly skilled as well, you have to say.
Drop a seat boat.
Look how much time she's pulled out in a couple of turns.
This might be an attack of her for the rest of the race. She knows she's very fast here, so if she can open the gap for Pauline van Provaux, and that looks like what she's doing right now.
It's a big gap, but I mean, the temptation's going to be there for her to go, isn't it?
Flying.
Although I guess she's going to know that she can probably open up a gap like that most laps of this race. Jumping the step up on the 4-cross World Championship track as well, that makes up part of this cross-country loop. Flying, absolutely flying.
Now you need to have a lot of speed to make that step up.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's dangerous.
No problem for Jolanda.
Careful with Betty. But Jolanda opens a big gap.
Yes, she does. Let's see what happens now.
Just that little descent. I wouldn't say it's the most technical descent even.
No, that's right. It's quite flowing, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But you see the difference between the riders.
Yeah,
just in that little part of the race.
Jolanda attacks, and she's ever so confident on the descents as well.
I'm wondering how much seconds she made.
That's twice she's nearly took the Soigneur's arm off, collecting the water bottle. Throws some water over herself as well. There's her teammate coming through now, Maja Wojtowska. Not that far back from Ferran Provaux and Emily Batty ahead. So, is Jolanda Neff now going to let them come back to her or keep this gap? She looks pretty focused there. That's usual for Jolanda to push such a small gear.
It is, yeah, it's usual. But this second loop of the lap, probably it's not her favorite.
No.
It's too flat.
Flat, a long, gradual climb as well, and then they close the gap.
If you have a small chasing group as Betty and Pauline van Provaux do at the moment,
but what she can do, I suppose, if she can stay with them at the front and be at the top of that climb in front, is perhaps wear them out. They can close that gap all race long.
That's what she will do, I think, the next couple of laps again. So Keller struggling with that high speed of Jolanda Neff.
Yeah, did get back on that leading group. Well, Anneke Langvad then, the World Cup leader, is out. We don't know her condition yet. We'll try and find out for you. Stay with us then. We'll be right back after this break.
This July, Surf's Up on Red Bull TV. The greatest surfers take on the world's most menacing waves.
You guys better paddle.
Russell Ord takes the perfect picture to make these surfers look amazing.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Jamie O'Brien is back with a new season full of beach shenanigans. And to take a break from the waves, catch the Neymar Juniors 5 tournament live from Rio de Janeiro. Concede a goal, lose a player. Enjoy the summer this July on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back to Val di Sole in Italy, round 4, Mercedes-Benz UCI cross-country race. Around a third of it has passed. The big news is, as I just said, Annika Langvad. The series leader is out with, looks like a wrist injury. And Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is leading Jolanda Neff. Emily Batty and Maya Włoszczowska all in that leading pack at the moment.
Yeah, it must have been a hard crash. I mean, it has been a straight part on the course, that bumpy grass section, that start section, where the women's field had that big crash in front of the race. Langvad, Tauber, and he lost. So a few top riders went down.
Yeah.
And,
definitely it's taken its toll. Here's Elizabeth Brando.
We knew Last and Tauber, they are still in the race.
One of the two high-profile German riders in here today, Sabine Spitz as well, circulating somewhere. Annabella Moyner up to 8th, Bart. Moving forwards, it looks like.
We knew she's always strong at the end of the race. She's struggling a bit with the start, with the high speed in the beginning of the race. Also, that short track, it's a difficult discipline for her too. But when the race goes on and the rider's getting exhausted, till the end of the race, she's getting stronger.
48 seconds back. Is that a gap that she...
I knew she had a 1 minute back in Alpsat last year,
yeah.
When she won a race at the end. Maybe the climbs are a bit longer or whatever. But yeah, let's see what she can make.
Yes. Henriette Dahler there. Hanging in there on this leading pack as well.
A group of 5.
There's some real quality in that group of riders.
And a lot of experience.
There really is. Ferrand-Prévot been a world champion. Neff is the world champion.
2 women from the cross team.
Marva Joska, a world champion. Gunrita, a world champion in the past as well.
Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Road, mountain bike.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's a good group we got going on there.
So a group of 5.
It is a long climb. It's not particularly steep, but it must feel when you're on the bike like it goes on and on.
Yeah, and it almost goes to the same height actually as that first loop does on the course.
Neff not in front this time, Bart.
Jolanda knows as well, it's not necessary to opening the gap all the time in each descent, but once in a while she has to test a little bit. When it comes to the end of the race, she needs to have the experience. And when she can go a bit faster. But we saw that Nova Master too. Even in the last lap, Langvad could follow her and she beat her in the sprint. So sometimes riders, they're taking a bit more safely earlier in the race compared to the last lap, where they take a lot of risks sometimes. But you can see closely together these 3. It means also Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is not taking all the risks. And also when it's dry, sometimes corners are slippery.
Yes, that's right.
Because of the gravel.
White, yeah. So through the tech feed zone they come again.
Taking the drinks, which is really necessary for this race today.
Yeah, it's definitely warm. The sun has gone in a little bit for now. Coming up then to finish lap 2 of 6. Ferrand-Prévot leads. 10.5 kilometres have passed of this race. But nothing in here at the moment, that front group of 5 riders. Well clear now, Bart, looking back down that start straight.
It is, yeah. Keller a bit further down.
So the pace must be pretty hot by these groups.
Yeah, it's not an easy pace.
They haven't relaxed yet.
No. That's right.
Here comes Kate Courtney again. Annabella Moyner now, trying to get across that gap to her.
So moving up from 8 to 7.
She looks strong there.
Posts. Anna Terpstra. Anna Terpstra, she broke her ankle in January in training in Stellenbosch.
Did she? Yeah.
South Africa. She recovered pretty fast from that. Of course, she still has some problems with running at the moment, walking. But riding the bikes, it's not a problem at all, she said. And she did a lot of smaller races in between Nova Mesto and this one. And she did really well, won a lot of races and tried to find back her rhythm, her season rhythm.
Looks like it's coming.
Top 10.
Hungary's Barbara Benko in 11th place. Elizabeth Brando across the line in 12th. She's got heavily strapped wrist there, Bart. Back out for another lap.
Yeah, we knew she has a broken rib.
Yeah.
She had a crash last week in training.
Broken ride with a broken rib to be riding like this.
That hurts a lot. That hurts a lot on the bike, but it hurts a lot
everywhere.
In bed too.
Oh, trying to sleep, yeah. Horrendous, a broken rib. All those riders all looking pretty comfortable, I would say. No one looks like they're hurting too badly yet.
A small gap, yes. Maja Zozowska. And also Gunrita struggling with that pace from Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
You're right. Starting to thin out then perhaps on this climb now.
So some sharp corners, good lines are really important to take over here. And you see, they take a bit of distance in between each other to make it on the bike.
Really steep there, look at it.
Small gears to have to ride in these sections over here. Closely together, difficult.
Prévot, the 2015 World Mountain Bike Champion. Neff, the reigning Mountain Bike World Champion. Some big battles in the past between those two, but I mean, they actually started this season by coming together. Anyway, I'll come back to that. Let's go down to Rick, who's got an update on Annika Langvad.
Candice, any further picture on what actually happened in that crash involving Annika?
All that we know at the moment, Annika's been to go see the doctors at the office, and she really hurt her wrist, kind of the top of her hand. She's not entirely sure what happened, but kind of in the crash, her hand just got mangled between the bikes and the girls. So not entirely sure even what the damage is at this stage. She's on her way to the hospital to go get x-rays, and then we'll know.
Candice, thanks very much, and wish her all the best from us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Best wishes to Annika. Let's hope it's nothing broken, nothing too serious, but clearly pretty serious, Bart, or she would not have pulled out of that race, that's for sure.
That's how it is. We knew with Van der Poel, Novamaster, he was in the leader's jersey too. He pulled out the race. Now we have Langvad in the leader's jersey pulled out. But definitely it's something which hurt too much, otherwise you should continue it. And when it hurts too much, it's something serious.
So lap 3 of 6. Marva Zoska, Gunrita Dahl 4th and 5th. Keller in 6th. Kate Courtney, Bella Moyne 8th, 9 Terpster. And it's Chloe Woodruff in 10th place at the moment.
Anna Tauber 15, so she's moving up.
Say in 22nd, but the former Olympic champion, Van der Breggen, not too far behind her. The Olympic road race champion. Van der Breggen moving forward as well.
What I said, between 10 and 20.
Put that crystal.
Anna Tauber. She finished second last Friday. And definitely one of the favorites for today. But she was part of that big crash in the beginning of the race.
See the dirt on her shoulder there, actually, where she's been down. Maybe take a lap or two to kind of get back into your rhythm, and then maybe you can regroup and carry on.
You don't know exactly what's going on at the moment. Maybe she hurt herself. Even if you don't see it, you can hurt yourself a lot. The same with the wrist of Langvad. We don't see it, but they will feel it. And also something can go wrong with the bike, with Indergan, for example.
Yes.
And even they have to find confidence back again after a crash like that. Even they don't know exactly what's wrong with the bike or with themselves.
So here is the Olympic road race champion. And right behind her, another Olympic champion, Julie Brisset, from this discipline. Some good cyclists coming out of Holland, Bart.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's true. Definitely at the moment, in all disciplines, Holland is doing really well in cycling. Tour de France is going on at the moment. We have the Sunweb Giant team and the Lotto Jumbo team, so two strong proto teams participating over there.
Yeah.
Some favorites for the overall, for the general classification too.
Mountain stage is always a bit tricky, I'd imagine, for the Dutch, but other than that, they're pretty good.
I wouldn't say it. I'm joking, sorry. We'd be missing
I'm
out.
absolutely joking, sorry. I can't help myself. So, Julie Brisset.
Let's talk about soccer. England's doing well.
That is actually a very good point at the moment. I'm not sure how long it will last, but for now, pretty good.
Congrats with yesterday's win.
Yeah, thank you. It's good. Not that I take any of the credit for it. I've got 2 left feet. So here they come back down this descent.
It's impressive how close Yolanda is riding behind Pauline Frampevaux.
It's so difficult to do that. You can't see anything coming. Not giving Prevost even a yard, but interestingly, content to sit there at the moment. Is she going to overtake her? Bar to bar, and it's like a 4-cross race. Neff around the outside. Neff wants to send the step up, of course she does.
There's no finish at the bottom.
But Bart, these two, we've seen them riding closely together. It ended in tears in the cyclocross race at the start of the year.
Really, it was Yolanda who broke her collarbone, and Pauline Frampevaux, she had some injuries too, bruised ribs, but it was Yolanda actually who helped Pauline after that crash, and it was the opposite with injuries.
Yes.
It was really, really weird to see. But they have to battle many, many times already.
A huge amount of respect for them between these two women, actually. Even if they do race within inches of each other very often.
And I mean, it's not really necessary for Neff to overtake her at this part of.
But she had to send the step up. It was all about the step up.
It's true.
Yeah, I think so. You know what it's like when you want to hit a jump. Yeah. Someone's in your way.
Yeah. Come on. Gives a good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So, Neff back to the front. Emily Batty, this strong ride from her there, Bart, staying with these two at the moment. The Canadian.
She's riding like a dark horse, not doing too much work, but still following third at the moment. And definitely one of the candidates to have a win. Her first World Cup win.
Yeah.
And when it comes closer to that finish, probably she will be more motivated too.
2016, actually a great year for Emily Batty. 3rd overall in the World Cup, took the bronze medal at the World Championships.
And we knew she's also very strong at the end of the race, Emily Batty.
Fran Prevost out of the saddle there as well. Maja Włoszczowska. The fastest lap of the race goes to her though, that 13.53, some 7 seconds faster than anyone else.
But now struggling with the high speed.
Now perhaps paying the price for doing it.
Perhaps.
She must have come through.
But I think it will go faster the last few laps.
Yeah. We're only around the halfway stage at the moment.
Even when they're getting more exhausted.
Just been told that Sabine Spitz also has had a crash and pulled out of the race. So a few big names out of action in this one. Plenty of big names at the front though. Neff and Ferran Prevost, bar to bar. Emily Batty right in there with them as well. Definitely a 3-horse race at the moment, this one.
Nice to see.
Yeah.
There is Maja Włoszczowska coming back.
Again, fighting back, Maja Włoszczowska.
Strong in this part of the race. This second loop.
She's a real fighter, isn't she, Maja? That's for sure. What's it like, Bart? Physically, it's clearly pretty hard to have to keep closing the gap. Mentally, does it take its toll?
But if you can do it, what she did right now, it helps so much. It motivates again. And then you know I'm riding the faster. I'm on the same level still.
I'm stronger.
I'm stronger.
I can catch him.
I'm exhausted, but I'm still strong enough. And I think it helps a lot with Yolanda as well. She's in the leading group, and Maja also. So sometimes you will work harder for a teammate compared to yourself.
Then, I mean, those two, the closest of friends as well.
It is,
as well as being teammates. So undoubtedly they'll help themselves each other if they can. Włoszczowska, twice an Olympic silver medalist. Here's Gunrita Dahla as well, not so far back.
Coming back too. So that descent, that 4-cross descent, probably it's making the difference too.
Keller.
Riding by herself.
a very kind of aggressive style, very flat-backed on the bike, isn't she?
Young rider.
Super strong though, Bart. Already.
At her age, yeah, very strong. She decided to ride Women Elite already on a young age. She did it last year already. So where she was still able to ride in the 23 category. But she decided to take the higher level.
Yeah, Bellamoina inside the top 10. Kate Courtney still in 7th, nearly a minute back. Bellamoina 9th at the moment. So lost a little time.
Yeah, a group of 3 fighting for that 7th place. Here we have Tauber, Anna Tauber. Which position she has at the moment? Almost top 10, I guess.
Yeah, she'll be close.
Same position here.
With Brandau, 10th. Chloe Woodruff, excuse me, there in Bellamoina, 9th place for her at the moment. Yeah. Will this be Gunrita Dala's last year of World Cup competition? Got chatting to her actually after Novia Mesto, and she said that she has announced her retirement. And it actually, not to quit racing mountain bikes, but because there's so many other races that she wants to go and do some, you know, stage races. And this, I mean, you know better than I do.
She became European champion marathon earlier this year already. So, yeah, she loves to ride stage races. She loves to ride her bike, and probably the World Cups cross country, it's a bit too much for her. And
I think she sort of said that if you do this, and you need to peak for so many World Cups, it doesn't leave you a lot of room to do anything else.
That's true.
If you want to perform at this level, and of course she does.
She does, yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah.
She's the most successful there's ever been in World Cup racing.
A group of 5 still leading this race. With Pauline van Prevot doing most of the work.
Yeah, she has been actually.
Maja Sosowska now 2nd place. Betty 3rd again, which is most of the time. Not doing too much work, trying to save the energy for the last few laps. And this descent brings you to the finish line.
Last into this descent this time. Is that a tallying? Not yet.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No. Probably not that attended, or wouldn't push too hard to be in a 2nd position all the time.
I think we're getting to the stage of the race now where things are going to start to pick up a little bit.
Well, it's getting more serious.
Yeah. But still, this pack are together. Interesting to see it. Very often we don't see a pack like this.
No, it's true. Maybe they're missing Langvaart, maybe like that. She's pushing always really hard.
That's true. Yeah,
races.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It might have been a different story if Annika had been able to continue.
But for sure also, Pauline, she's pushing it hard, high speed. But well, we should have seen more riders in front of the race.
So 3 more laps to go then.
A group of 5, Gunrita, last of the group.
Right there on the back wheel of Jolanda Neff. Here comes Keller coming through. So on that hard tail bike. Nothing between them. Kate Courtney comes in a shot as well.
Together with Anna Terpstra.
Kate Courtney looking like she's relaxing the pedals. Maybe wants Terpstra to take over the win for a little bit. Jannabella Moina. 2nd here last year, actually. 59 seconds back, and the gap's down around a minute. Back to Jannabella Moina.
Yeah, it's getting a bit bigger, that gap. 48 previous lap.
That's right. Stretching a touch. And here we go, back to the leaders then on this long first climb of the lap.
But it helps and motivate the riders a lot too. If you can stay in that first group, and even without spending that much energy, you will have fast lap times too.
And Neff looking like she was coming up on the outside there, and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot didn't want her to go at the front, I would say. Looked like she reacted.
They all know on that section what's following. You have to be in the right position. That's why they fight that hard on that climb just before the single track starts.
Because it gets so steep and anyone stalls
a lot
of
of corners. You can see it here, how difficult it is to follow each other. And if a rider in front of you will make a mistake, it's really hard to pass. It's only one line which the riders can ride, and left off right of it, it's really loose.
Look at this.
You see, now it's difficult for Jolanda to stay.
So now Nev, and I expect Emily Bay, Marva Joskam are all forced to get off from one slip at the front.
And we will see this more when it comes to the end of the race. The riders are exhausted.
Yes.
And then it's really hard to make it all the time.
A real sting in the tail of the first part of this climb, isn't it? That ever so steep.
Some of the riders, they like to go off the bike a little bit, stretch their legs, stretch their back. A few steps.
Can feel quite nice, I'd imagine, in something as arduous as this.
It is. And I think Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, she's used to it. Jolanda Neff, of course, too. She does a lot of cyclocross as well. So for them, it's not a problem at all for a few steps besides the bike and find their rhythm back again. More closely together now, these 5 women.
Think Gunrita Dala can take the win today, Bart?
It doesn't look like that. Maya and also Gunrita are still
working hard to stay there.
Setting
the pace.
There's more than that compared to thinking about the win. I think Betty, she's one of the dark horses for this race. And of course, Jolanda, she's very strong in the descent. She can open the gap in the descents too, compared to the other ones. And when it comes more to the end, I guess she will try and make an attack in the descents.
How many seasons do you think of World Cup racing this woman, Gunrita Dala, has done?
I knew she was with me in the team in 1995. That's a long time ago. And I think she was riding already earlier. I think 1993, maybe?
Maybe, but for full season, it's a 23rd World Cup season. And this woman has come through to 18th then, from a lowly start position. Ellen Noble, strong ride for her.
Different lines. And Jolanda Neff is overtaking Pauline Ferrand-Prévot over there. Nice to see that. Actually, it's a B line. I thought it's a B line. Probably it's not. It's faster.
Yeah.
It's the way how fast you take it, probably.
It's getting a little spicier at the front, Bart. Starting to show each other what they can do now. Starting to fight a little bit here and there on this track. And Neff will, you'd imagine, open a fair gap on this descent now. She gets into it first. It'd be interesting to see what she does after that.
It seems to me she's even faster in that 4-cross descent compared to this one, which is even more. This one is even more difficult.
I mean, it's a massive opportunity for Neff and Thoreau, one that they're both, of course, very aware of, with the series leader out of today's race. Big points gains for them if they can do it.
How much points does Jolanda need to overtake Langvaart? 108, something like that, you said.
I'll tell you now, yeah, something like that, 100 and... No, exactly, excuse me, 38 points back. That was all, is the difference between Langvaart and Neff coming into this today's race. 38 points, so yeah.
So if she can stay where she is at the moment in the top 5, it's more than enough.
Gonna come out, yeah, long way ahead.
Probably she will get that information from the side too. Not what we like to see in racing when somebody pulls out, especially in a leader's jersey, but
that is racing, unfortunately.
That's racing.
Dala comes through. The Norwegian rider. 5th place for her at the moment for Gunrita. That gives you some indication of just how steep that climb is at the top there.
Jolanda 3rd.
And Ferrand-Prévot,
she already is 2nd at the moment. She overtake Betty, different line, steeper one inside. But it's a sign that Yolanda is struggling a bit at that last part of the climb, just before the descent, because she was leading, but Pauline overtook her just before the last descent.
Kate Courtney comes up and through.
Terpstra already overtook her, so Terpstra in 6th. Anne Tauber, there she is already. Almost in the top 10. 11th place right now, 1 minute 25. And especially if you have a crash in the beginning of the race, and of course if you can continue, you have to overtake all the other women which are in front of you, and especially in the descents and single tracks, it's difficult. Great to see this. Nice shot, Yolanda. Flying.
It's not too late for her to become a downhill racer. I think she'd be pretty good at it.
Why not?
Yeah. Okay, I was actually wrong. I was looking at the points before Friday night's short track points were added. Jolanda Neff is 108 back on Anneke Langvad, and Pauline Ferrand-Vaux 267 back on Anneke Langvad. So apologies for my error there.
So it still means Yolanda needs to have a good result
to take the lead, and Pauline, even if she does take the win today, she'll still be 17 points back on Anneke Langvad in the overall standings. Let's hope Anneke can recover, Bart.
It's really hard
Continue
to
in
say.
Andorra next week.
Yeah, what I saw so far, it doesn't look good. If a rider pulls out
and goes
the
directly,
injury, it's even worse as we think about at the moment.
Could well be.
Otherwise, she should continue with the adrenaline you have in your body. At least she should try, and she didn't either.
No, I think she realised it was pretty serious. Didn't look like she could touch the handlebar.
And even the short track, it's already Friday. I mean, it's just a few days.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
So a new short track leader either, probably.
Could be. She's been unbeaten in that discipline. We will keep you updated with any news that we receive anyway throughout this race on Anneke's condition. Stay with us then. This race is going to come to a thrilling climax after this break. We'll see you soon.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now.
A circle, never ending, yet it takes you from beginning to end. It's continuous, yet ever changing. As the world turns, a wheel turns, life begins and ends.
An adventure film on the ever-changing status of life in nature, machine, and man. Life Cycles, now available on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back live to Val di Sole in Italy, round 4, Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup. Coming now towards the closing stages of this race, around half an hour to go of racing. And it's a fascinating race, Bart.
Yeah, Maja Sozolska leading right now. It seems to be she's getting stronger during the race. She was struggling with the high speed of Pauline earlier, but now is taking the lead together with Jolanda Neff. That helps a lot if you are with your teammate in the first group, you're the leading group.
Is it possible Neff resting a little bit as much as she can before an all-out attack on the last couple laps?
I think she will.
The riders do that?
Yeah, for sure they will do it. They have a kind of a tactic in their mind, and that's how they follow and continue the race.
Kate Courtney in the stars and stripes. Brando and Bella Moina, though, going to be putting her under pressure shortly.
But also Anna Tauber, she's not that far behind the Bellarmine at the moment.
Got a 7th at the moment then.
Anna Terpstra from the Netherlands. Her best result ever so far. 6th at the moment. She never reached it on the podium, but she's very close.
Sophie Courtney, the under-23 World Cup winner from last year.
Tauber is coming. 11th.
She was, what, 30? Outside the top 30, so it's a good ride for her to get back to there.
1:25 in the previous lap time.
So it's coming down.
Split time, I mean. So it's coming down.
Yeah.
1:11 only.
Things are going to get shook up here in Val di Sole over the next couple of laps, I reckon.
So she has been almost 20 seconds, 15 seconds faster.
Which is huge.
For just half a lap it is.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how this one unfolds. The pace picking up at the front, it looks like. Marva Zhovska driving it on. Gunrita out of the saddle, pushing a big gear bar.
Yeah, if you're getting older, it seems like you're going pushing bigger gears automatically.
Because you're stronger and trying to keep your heart rate down a little bit.
Yeah, you like to keep your heart rate down. I think that's the main reason. I don't know if you're getting stronger.
No?
I don't think so.
Doesn't your endurance grow as you get older, or to a point?
Yeah, but that's not the strength what you have to push on the pedals.
That's
I think it's
true.
different.
Yeah, sure.
It's different.
You'd know a lot more about it than I would, believe me.
I'm struggling with the high speed of the young riders, so I'm pushing big gears too.
Yeah. 1 revolution to their 3. Marva Zhovska setting the pace now. Looks like she's recovered a little bit.
Seems like that.
The winner of 3 World Cup races, Maya. The World Marathon Champion. The 2010 World Cross Country Champion. And always, but a contender.
It is, yes, she's always there.
Yeah, she really is.
Especially when it comes to World Championships, Olympics, big races, she's always there.
Flying down this descent. Really fast down there, Bart.
Put the pressure on Pauline van Amprevoort.
On the podium twice this year, Marva Zhovska. Pauline goes through. It looks to me like the pace is picking up a bit. They're starting to sprint out of corners.
Yeah, riders, they're testing each other out as well. This is the last descent to the finish line, and now it's Maya Zhovska who's pushing it really hard. But still, Gunrita is here as a 5th rider of this leading group. So from that corner on, it's like a 50-meter sprint, not that long.
Out they go then. Onto the penultimate lap now, just 2 to go. Things are going to start getting turned up now.
Now it's getting serious, more than serious.
Yeah, this is it. Anytime now, you could really see this race. We could really see this race decided.
Raisa from Brazil. I don't know which place he is.
Riding for the new cross-country Mondraker team. Manufacturers enjoyed a huge amount of success in downhill racing.
National champion from Brazil.
But it's Pauline van Amprevoort out front on the Canyon bike. Chased by Jolanda Neff and her teammate.
2 cross riders. Betty and Ford at the moment. Gunrita, 5th position. When it comes to the top of that gravel climb before the single track climb will continue, the positions are really important, especially when it comes to the last few laps right now, how the race goes on. The riders, they will fight for these positions. Jolanda try and overtake Pauline van Amprevoort out of the saddle. It's hard to find your grip on the rear wheel, the rear tire. It's slippery, that gravel climb over here. Betty in third again.
Emily Batty might dig deeper than everyone else, but she's yet to win a World Cup race, and she's pretty close today, it looks like.
We didn't see too much of her in this race, but she's there all the time, most of the time on a third position. She hasn't been in the front so far. Try and save her energy, she knows. Comes down to the last few laps where they are right now. At the moment, this hard, steep.
Making the legs burn that, for sure. Especially at the top of that climb.
Small gears. If they make a mistake, they can recover of it. And traction on the rear wheel, that's everything that counts for this part.
Bit of a gap back to Gunrita now, Bart.
Struggling, yeah, with the high speed of Pauline.
I think they're turning the screw here for Anne Prevost. Really starting to push the buttons of all the other riders.
Yeah, Maya's struggling with the speed too.
Emily Batty not though. Looks good there in third place at the moment.
It is.
Pan American Games gold medalist.
Maya might have been making a mistake too. I mean, she's back on the wheel of Betty, so probably she had a small mistake.
I mean, it takes a little wheel spin or something on that steep climb like that, and the foot goes down, you've got to get off and get going again.
So 5 riders still in front of the race. Closely together.
As it's been for most of the race, actually.
And also Betty now is struggling with the high speed of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. The descent starts, a very technical descent. And it continues with another climb to the top of the course. Now Yolanda's taking the same line as Pauline does.
And looks fairly content to be there in second place at the moment.
Most of the time, actually, we see Betty on a full suspension bike too.
That must be a short track influence.
Must be, I think too. Because especially this section over here, you should ride, love to ride a full suspension bike instead of the hardtail. And Betty, she's used to that.
Yeah, and as Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is showing us, the full suspension bike, not a disadvantage. I mean, it's just a little weight penalty, isn't it, really?
But it helps so much in the descents.
Yeah, more grip, less energy, much more comfortable bike to ride. And I guess these riders don't worry about comfort too much, but it's true, right, Bart, that
it is, yeah.
You know,
you're getting more fatigue of a hardtail compared to a full suspension. But also the small vibration, what you will feel more in a hardtail bike. Yeah, you get exhausted from that too.
Yeah. Well, the sun has come back out here, and believe me, it is intense when that raw sun gets on your back here in Val di Sole in Italy.
And you don't have any wind when you're riding on a climb like this.
Just pushing over the top there. Front 2 bar, carrying bottles. Emily Batty, not. What does that mean? Anything?
Yeah,
Mr. Bottle or...?
Probably she will take just the bottles at the feet zone.
It must be easy to drink on the second loop.
Yeah, it is, but even on sections like this, it's not even possible for the riders to have a drink.
No.
So they don't like to carry it on the whole climb and then have a drink at the bottom. They take the bottle at the bottom at the feet zone, have a drink and throw it away immediately.
Here comes Maya, number 6 on the outside.
Is she able to make it to the front?
Yeah, she's pretty close. It might be a sprint finish today, but without Anneke Langvad being involved.
Yeah, it's a shame that she's not over there.
It is.
But like we said, positioning in corners on a course like this, with all these corners at the end, the last 500 meters to the finish line, it's really important too. It doesn't come down to horsepower. Maybe the horsepower you need to have on that last dragging sections in the wood.
I mean, that would be, in my opinion, the perfect place to launch an attack, where we've seen this race decided so many times before.
A big group Another chasing group, very big. Together.
Courtney in 10th now.
Tauber coming closer to these riders.
The top 10 would be a great result for her today, Bart.
After that crash in the start.
Only a minute separating the top 10. Pretty tight race, this one.
She came back 1 second.
Yolanda to the front. At the bottom of this descent then.
But nobody not that far behind her.
No stress really for Pauline yet, I don't think. Might be a different story in an lap's time though. Stress could be running high.
Yeah, if they are getting under pressure, riders will make easily mistakes.
So Neff taking the lead. Gonna go out on the second loop now this track, and then there's only one more lap to go.
It might come down to another sprint finish.
It's possible, huh?
It is, yeah.
Very possible.
So just a bottle of water for Yolanda. No nutrition. Able to have a small drink, cool down her body. Spray some water in the neck. Best place to cool down.
Yeah, and then onwards. Probably the hottest day of the week we've had here as well today.
We had some rain earlier this week.
Yeah.
It was really nice, and even the course became better of that.
Yeah, it's a lot less dust about than we usually see. There's quite a strong wind out there today. Don't be surprised to see a big storm blow in.
Hopefully it stays dry.
Yeah, it probably should do now, for this, at least for this end of this women's race.
Gunrita still there?
She is still there.
Just the speed
so
drop.
close, huh?
Just the speed dropped down a bit again after the attack of Yolanda and that descent. It's the most experienced rider, Gunrita. And she knew,
sorry, Bart.
If she knew she can win a race, she will fight really hard, especially in that last lap, and she's still there.
Brando, what a brave ride with a broken rib.
It is. Anna Terpstra in front of her.
And there is a former cross-country eliminator world champion, Ralph Naif, giving his rider, Alessandra Keller, plenty of encouragement.
Jana 7 at the moment. Jana Villamoina just behind Keller. Keller has been riding the whole race by herself, struggling with the high speed of that leading group. These 5 riders.
Strong ride from Kate Courtney. She doesn't mind suffering, Bart, that's for sure.
No, that's how she rides, always.
Yeah.
And a young rider too.
And she doesn't leave anything out there, that is definite. Gives it her all. And having a good first year in the league, right?
It is, yeah. If you can do it, top 10. But you have a lot of young riders right now in the top 10 with Keller, Tauber.
Yeah.
Kate Courtney. Impressive how strong these women are already on a young age. But Jolanda Neff, actually, she's still young too.
So Marta Wojtowska looking good there at the front now.
Fighting for the positions. Also Gunrita now in the middle of the group. Jolanda overtaking Gunrita.
Let's not forget that Maya...
It seems to be like an attack of Maya Sosowska at the moment.
She's won here in the past. Look how much time she's pulled out. The 2010 winner on this course, Maya Wojtowska. She was actually second in 2011, third last year, so it is a track that she goes well on, that's for sure.
Tauber here, first rider of this chasing group of 4, but Keller, Jana Villamoina, Tauber, Kate Courtney, Brando, Terpstra.
Tauber just gone around 3 riders. This is going to be a real fast, intense last lap for all these racers. Lots of positions to battle for. This is a long way from decided.
Yeah, if you can make it in the top 10, it means a lot for the riders. Of course, the podium, that's everything what they like to aim, but it seems to be the podium is already gone. Keller still pushing hard.
And here's Maya Wojtowska, and that is definitely an attack. She's gone a lap early. And everyone fighting to go with her, all up out of the saddles there.
And probably Jolanda will help her a little bit. If she can go to the front, slow down a bit in that descent.
Yeah.
All these little small seconds will count. Why not? If you can help your teammates to win a race.
Unless you want to win yourself.
Of course.
But that is a good gap that Maja Włoszczowska has opened up.
It is. This part of the course suits her really well. Emily Betty know she's in danger. Now for the first time this race we see her working really hard and try and close the gap to Maja Włoszczowska. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot just behind her. Betty second place. And Gunrita still struggling. High speed of the women at the moment.
So long climb up. Will the positions be the same in a lap's time? Will Włoszczowska be able to stay there?
Even if you have a small, there she is already, the leader.
Flying on this descent, but she's all out at the moment.
She will take a lot of risks at the moment.
Yeah. Betty in front of Ferrand-Prévot and Jolanda Neff.
Is she able to close that gap?
I'm surprised Neff, I think she would have been in at the top of that climb second if she could have been to use her advantage of her speed down there. Don't you, or not?
It is, yeah. You're right with that.
So we're going to find out really over the next 15 minutes or so who's got left what in the tank.
Even this is a good experience for the last lap for the riders. Tauber here, pushing hard. Keller, the last rider of that group, overtaken by many riders at the moment. Jana Belemoine in this group too. So Tauber 6 at the moment, from 11 positions to the 6th place. Is she able to close that gap to that leading group? Probably not, too much.
I think so, with the pace that we expect to see now on this last lap. And Tauber's been down. Little fall there, Bart.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Small crash.
Just loses the front a little bit there and goes down. Nothing too bad.
But another one. It's not her first crash today.
Not her first crash this year. A lot better than the one she had in Albstadt.
That's true. Yeah, she had a bad crash too.
The full front flip. And it looked to me as we cut back to that crash that the leading group was spreading out. So let's see what's happening.
Yeah, Betty was second, what we saw. Kate Courtney, 6th at the moment. Jana Belemoine just behind her, 7th place. Brandau, 8th. Tauber after that crash.
Just ahead of Alessandra Keller. So you can see it, 5 seconds between Włoszczowska and Batty, another 5 seconds back to Ferrand-Prévot. Neff looks to have fallen back to Gunrita Dala. Last lap, the leaders are on the last lap, of course.
What a race for Tauber too after that crash what she had already at the start. Still finishing top 10 almost there in 6th place she had earlier.
Here's your leader, Maja Włoszczowska then. Emily Batty there, Neff looking like she's going to try and get across this gap now. This is the first climb of 2 on this last lap. The more intense climb. The steeper climb. Are we going to see a cross 1-2? What's Emily Batty got left? They're the number 10.
At the moment it's a cross 1-2.
Yeah. And Neff looking like she's coming back across that gap to me.
It is.
And Ferrand-Prévot, where's she gone?
4th place for her.
A little bit back at the moment now.
It is. She did a lot of work already this race.
Yeah, you said that earlier, that she was kind of doing all the work at the front.
And now the riders have something left for that last lap. Pushing hard, stay on the bike. It's important here. For that last lap, where every fall will count.
And there comes Fran Prevost in the red, white and blue over the back there. Gunrita Dala just
Small
there.
mistake of her.
Yeah, almost looking like she was stopping and composing herself before that steep climb.
Small gaps in between the riders. The coach from Gunrita in green.
And husband, right?
And husband.
That was, phew, I'm glad I got that right. So, Marta Włoszczowska, ahead of her teammate, the two cross girls out front at the moment then.
Jolanda definitely the fastest descender of these two cross ladies.
But Maya doesn't hang about on those downhills.
Where's Emily Betty? She must be somewhere in between.
Yeah,
but
maybe we missed her.
Gunrita.
What a competitor Gunrita Dala is. What's she going to do when she quits racing finally, Bar? She ain't going to know what to do with herself. It's been her life for a quarter of a century.
I don't know, cooking.
Relaxing.
Maybe.
Relaxing. She's earned it, that's for sure.
Taking some time for her child.
Yeah. Yeah.
For herself.
Listen to how hard they're breathing. You can hear it from here.
Betty's still on 3.
Still in touch. Still very much capable of taking the win from there.
Everything is still wide open. Now the riders are getting flat out. Aline Ferrand-Prevost fourth. And Gunrita a bit further down. Last lap. The most technical descent of the course. Maya leading, Jolanda second, Betty still in 3. Small gaps in between the riders, just a few seconds. It's going to be a hard lap. A really hard last lap. Jolanda, she must be faster here in these sections.
You'd think, yeah.
She's looking like that.
Just a touch quicker, but that might be very...
Oh, small mistake.
She's off. Picks the bike up and has to start running. Didn't lose too much time. But losing time now. Nowhere really nice to get back on that bike. It's so steep.
It's really steep.
And she's fallen back into the grasps of Batty now. So this is a real opportunity, I would say, for Maya Włoszczowska to go. I mean, Maya went really on the lap previous.
Yeah, it's good timing of her.
So,
Betty back to Jolanda. Yeah, it disturbs your rhythm so much if you have to get off your bike, especially in these steep climbs.
That's a fair gap now, Bart. To Maya Włoszczowska, isn't it?
It is. It is still a long way to the finish line.
It still is, yeah.
And we knew from Betty as well, she's a real fighter. And of course, it's not the best feeling what she will have if Jolanda stays in her wheel in that flat section if it comes to that second last loop.
Well, Neff's going to have to... She's desperately going to want to be the first into the downhill, that is for sure.
She's going to take...
And then she's going to take, I would say, some pretty big risks back down to the bottom.
That's what I expect too.
Yeah. But she needs to be ahead of Emily to do it, really.
She has to take the risk to close that gap to Maya Włoszczowska, who is just in front of her. A few seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. Different line for Jolanda compared to Betty.
Emily taking, I don't know if it was a beeline, but it certainly looked like a less ferocious drop off that road there. So she's lost some time.
So settle down for Jolanda.
I wonder if it goes through, they're great friends. Does that play a part now, Bart, or is it all out for a race win?
I think it's still all out. It looks like that.
Oh, definitely does. Actually, the speed Jolanda went off there.
I mean, it's a fair sport anyway. She's not taking Betty with her at the moment, where she can have a little bit advantage of draft.
Yes.
I mean, that should help a lot for Betty at the flats, but not on this part.
You can see it there. The gap. Maya down through the rocks safely for the last time. So really now only half a lap to go here in Val di Sole. It's the fourth round at the Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup. If you've just joined us, this race is reaching its climax. Marvazhovska leads, chased by her teammate Jolanda Neff.
Closely together with a small gap in between.
A small gap. Is it enough of a gap though? It's a fair gap, Bart. It's a fair-sized gap now. Neff is going to have to do something special on this last lap.
It's more like the same, even at the top, like it is right now. Of course, the speed is a bit higher here at the bottom compared to the climb, but still taking some drinks for that last part of the race. Betty, third.
And Jolanda can't relax even if she's exhausted, because Emily Batty right there as well.
What a perfect timing for Maya, how she made that attack with 1.5 lap to go. And she didn't look that strong earlier in the race.
No.
Not at all, actually.
Maybe rode herself into it a little bit. It's difficult to see the gaps from this head-on camera angle, actually. Sometimes it makes the riders appear closer than they are. But it does, to me, look like that gap has come down now.
It is, yeah, it is.
It's 4 seconds only now, the gap. Emily Batty fighting to stay with Jolanda Neff. It could be her ticket to ride to the front of the pack if she can do.
With a big gear, pushing it. Try and relax in this short descent. Stretch the legs a bit. And pushing hard immediately again.
Is it a whole body fatigue at this point of a race?
Yeah, you feel really bad.
You do? Yeah.
You do.
Head,
but probably the
legs,
adrenaline
arms.
overtake everything.
Yeah.
It overtakes your pain.
No training, Bart, can really prepare you for a race like this? And that, I mean, do you ever go this hard in training for this long?
No, it's really hard to reach this kind of pain. Even riders, they need to participate in smaller races to feel the same of what they have to feel at the moment.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get that feeling in training.
The reigning World Cup overall winner from last year, Jannabella Moina, goes through. 8th place for her at the moment.
Betty's coming back to Jolanda.
So, Neff has brought that gap down, but it's not close enough yet. And Maya's a great climber.
Yeah, and I think what we saw previous lap, this part of the course suits Maya really well. Oh, Betty's overtaking Jolanda here.
No way, look at this. So Emily Batty.
Well, place for her.
Wouldn't she love to take her first? Oh, a little mistake from Jolanda there.
That's what we knew from Jolanda. She can blow up.
She's tired, Bart, a little bit, I would say now.
It is. If it comes to these two, Maya and Betty.
So, it looks like Neff is out of this one. Can Emily Batty close down Marvazhov's going to take her first ever World Cup win? Neff's going to have a good day in the overall standings, that's for sure. Of course, remember the series leader Annika Langvad had to pull out earlier in the race after sustaining a hand or wrist injury in a pile-up on that start loop.
Alleen Van Provaux, who has done most of the work actually in this race.
Yeah.
4th place. She paid the price for it.
28 seconds back now. Gunri Adala.
Another podium for her.
Wouldn't that be incredible? At 45 years old. She can't quit yet. She's still getting World Cup podiums.
Betty taking a different line. Less steep. Hard for the riders.
Maya, you can see it, hear it, grit in her teeth. The Canadian Emily Batty giving it her all as well.
We knew Betty has always something left for that last part.
Just 30 years old, Emily Batty. Listen to how hard these women are working. Maya looks like she's going to get this one. Batty not so far behind though.
Small gaps, just a few seconds.
Twice second in World Cup races, Emily Batty.
Not that far anymore. To the top. And then they will have to take that fast descent to the finish line.
There's Marvazhovska gonna do it. It's looking that way, you know.
It's looking that way for sure.
Come on, push now, push.
Plenty of encouragement for Batty on the side of the track. I'd imagine those words can make quite a difference to you, Bart, when you're in this position.
It helps.
If you've got anything, if you can do anything. There's the gap.
She already is taking the descent to the finish line. Not flying anymore.
Absolutely flying on this downhill. It's a downhill that has caught a few riders out in the past. We've seen Nino Schurter crash here, actually.
Yeah, we saw a crash of Tauber.
Yes, today we did. But it's a good gap now that Maja Włoszczowska has.
She knew it as well.
She went with over a lap to go. It was a brave move.
Very brave, especially the race, how she did it. She wasn't that strong in the beginning of the race with that high speed of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
Perfect through those turns. Using every bit of track, carrying as much speed as she can. This is going to be an absolutely massive win for Maja Włoszczowska. Just the last turn to go now. So Maja Włoszczowska is going to take the win here in Val di Sole. No woman still has won here twice. Look what this one's going to mean to her. It's her first win since 2012. It's been a long time coming. Maja Włoszczowska takes the win. A fantastic result for the rider from Poland. Second is going to be Emily Batty. She gave it her all on that last lap, but couldn't quite close that gap. Second again. A dramatic race. Well done, Maja. Jolanda Neff didn't have it on the last lap. Still brilliant for third place, ahead of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, who comes in fourth. And Gunri Tadala crossing the line in fifth to take the last spot of the podium, becomes the oldest athlete to ever podium in a World Cup mountain bike race at 45 years old. Absolutely incredible. It's also her 70th World Cup podium.
Impressive, yeah, impressive. But also what a race for Maja Włoszczowska.
Yes, of course.
2012, you said, the last time she won a World Cup?
Yeah.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, Peter Maritzburg in 2012.
Keller. She's getting back. She has been on 6th. She dropped back a little bit. Still there, 6th.
Just ahead of Brando. What a ride for the German rider, but with a broken rib. Kate Courtney there. Looks like they're going to have to sprint this one out. Keller's already gone. Brando, Courtney, bar to bar, and it looks like Kate Courtney has got the legs on this final straight. It's going to be close.
Photo finish, hard to say.
Yes.
Looks like Kate Courtney, but it's hard to say.
We'll get you confirmation of that as soon as we can. It's going to be Kate Courtney's best ever World Cup elite finish anyway. Either way. Yadabella Moinabart still coming back from injury inside the top 10.
Strong race of her.
Yes.
And next week it's her favorite course, the altitude in Andorra.
A very different track, a very different race that waits everyone next week.
So probably...
And coming back from what, 38th was it at one point?
Yeah. A long story from her.
Anna Tauber.
What happened in the beginning of the race after that crash?
It's just Kate Courtney gets it.
Closely.
That's going to feel good tonight though.
Yeah, even it's 7 and 8 or 7? Yeah, 7 and 8. It doesn't matter. The feeling is always so good if you can beat somebody else in a sprint.
Yeah.
Anne Terpstra, strong ride of her. I think best result ever. 11th place. Best result ever in the World Cup.
Great result for her as well then.
Maja Włoszczowska, what a race for her. I think she didn't expect it herself.
Well, maybe she is surprised. Let's find out. She's down there with Rick.
Maja, your first UCI World Cup win since 2012. What does this one mean to you?
It means that I'm still young and powerful. It's awesome. I was so many times second, third. Last year I finished second overall, and there is always something missing. And today the start was okay, but I was not in the leading group. And but then I managed to chase the girls, and actually 3 girls, Yolanda, Pauline and Emily, looked like they were stronger than me. I was like all the time staying behind a little bit on the uphills. But as the race was going on, I was feeling better and better. And then I knew that I need to make a move, not to wait until the end, because then you never know. So I just tried 2 laps to go, and it worked out.
You crossed the line on the last lap in the lead. Was there any pressure there?
Oh yeah, actually I couldn't believe that I'm leading. And then I was just saying, oh, come on, don't think that you are leading, just go full gas, just focus, don't make any mistake, and just push hard till the end. Don't think about the result, because always when I was already enjoying my place, then I was doing some stupid mistakes. So this time I was just trying to focus on every single part of the race course. I saw that the girls are fighting hard behind my back, so it was close battle till the end.
We go to Andorra next weekend. Can you make it 2 wins in 2 weekends?
That would be awesome, of course. I like Andorra course, but this race is very specific. It's on the high altitude, and every year I have like different preparations. Sometimes I go to the high altitude. This year, no. So I wonder how my shape will be there, but I look forward to this one.
Maya, well done today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Young and powerful indeed, but what a performance, huh?
Yeah, still she is.
6 years have gone by without a World Cup win. I mean,
yeah, she came close many times.
Right.
Second places.
Second overall in last year's World Cup. Backs that up.
Yeah, it means you are always there.
So it was 30 seconds between the top 3 in the end. As I say, Kate Courtney gets inside the top 10. Randall, Bella Moiner and Tauber. Look at the names in that top 10. Every single one of them a big one.
It is. Anna Terpstra, 11th place, her best result ever. Annie lost after that crash in the beginning of the race, 17. And Julie Brissett, 20. Olympic champion.
Ellen Noble coming through from a long way back to come in at 16th place, the rider from the USA.
It is, yeah. Jolanda Neff, she had a great race today, flying that 4-cross section, lap by lap, passing Pauline Ferrand-Prévot many times in that step up. She loves that course over here. Emily Betty, what a race she had. She didn't do that much work, but after that attack of Maja Zozowska with 1.5 lap to go, maybe it was a bit too late of her to close the gap to the winner of today. Maja Zozowska, after 6 years, she did it again. Not that many wins, but almost always there. And she's really happy with another win, another World Cup win here in Val di Sole.
Great to see her take that then, yeah. So third today for Jolanda Neff.
For Trek Factory Racing,
Emily Batty. Second for the 3rd time at a World Cup race. You get the feeling that she'll win one at some point. Must be frustrating for her. And taking her 4th World Cup win after a gap now of 6 years. It is from Poland, Maja Włoszczowska.
Ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 here in Val di Sole, Jolanda Neff, Emily Batty.
Dressed in white, I would say.
Yeah.
Same as you are.
Yep, it's the cool colour, but get up to speed.
You're right.
And it is Jolanda Neff now that takes the lead by 52 points from Anneke Langvad after the World Cup leader coming into this event had to pull out after that crash. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, 3rd place for 169 points. Remember now though, it's changed. There's not 250 points on offer in a World Cup weekend. With short track, there's 375. So those gaps, probably not as big as they look.
Definitely not. Tauber dropped back from 4th till 5th.
Well, stay with us, me and Bart. We'll be back with the post-show. See you in a moment.
Yes.
Drew Bezanson on his way to one of the most remarkable mountain bike competitions, Red Bull Joyride. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master.
Did I underestimate it? Sure, yes I did. They're just seeing the finished product. They're not seeing the last 20 years of riding a bicycle.
His foray into the world of slopestyle, the learning curve. Drew Bezanson, now available on Red Bull TV.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now. It's the search for the ultimate enduro rider. The most prestigious, famous, and feared enduro races.
The adrenaline's pumping.
The perfect balance of speed, technique, and courage.
It's extreme. So tough on the body. Absolute madness.
World Enduro Super Series, Season 2018. On Red Bull TV. From the creators of Not Bad, the saga of bicycle tomfoolery continues in Spain. With even more shenanigans and more unbelievable riding.
Could you imagine just hanging out in Spain for like 3 weeks and trying to shoot a whole movie here?
Not Too Bad. Now available on Red Bull TV. They are young, fast, and the best rookies in the world. 7 speedways, 25 young stars, 1 champion. The thrilling 2-wheel spectacle is back for another season.
I have to win because I want to be in Red Bull Rookies Cup champion.
Watch the Red Bull Rookies Cup 2018 live. Next weekend on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back to Val di Sole in Italy, where we are live with a Mercedes-Benz race review. What a race we have just seen. That woman, Maja Wyszowska, taking the win, but an incredible performance from her.
Yeah, after 6 years, especially after 6 years, where she has been close many, many times to a win. It's something amazing what you can reach as an athlete, and she's really happy with that.
And I think it was a brave move from her, really. She went with a lap to go. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, definitely I was. She wasn't absolutely not the strongest in the beginning of the race. She was struggling with that high speed of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, what she was pushing it all the time. There was a small gap in between, but always contact she had with the leading group. And I think that move, what she did with 1.5 lap to go, was the best she could do. And I think that the motivation what she got, crossing that finish line with 1 more lap to go, she found some energy somewhere, but I don't know.
She was not giving it up. Okay, the big news, I suppose, though, we have to say is, and it's a sad one, that Annika Langvad, the series leader, caught up in this crash off the start.
Yeah, it already happened in the beginning of the race. After a few hundred meters, we don't know exactly from this angle with this camera. It's hard to see what went wrong over there. We knew that section is very bumpy. The riders are very close together. Yeah, wide handlebars. They try to find the best position before the climb starts, before the single track starts. And it's dangerous, and we know it's dangerous. The start is always dangerous, and that's why they fight that hard for a good position all the time.
Of course. I mean, we will say that. Let's hope that it's not too serious for Annika Langvad. We don't actually know. She's at the hospital getting checked out. We might be able to bring you some news during the men's race on her condition. I hope we see her in Andorra in a week's time. Emily Batty, another great ride for her. 3rd place, the Canadian. What a ride.
Yeah, and she's still fighting for that win, what she almost got today.
Second, excuse me.
Second again. And with just a few seconds, actually, to Maja Wyszowska. She didn't do that much work the whole race. She was most of the time behind the top 2, I would say. But with that that attack of Maya with 1.5 lap to go, I think she was surprised too.
I mean, strong ride though. Second again. She's going to win one time. It might even be in Andorra next week. And she is with Rick.
Emily, second place today. Are you happy with that?
Oh, it's kind of a shock. I don't know whether to be happy just yet or really disappointed. It was 2012 when it came down to Maya and I for first and second in South Africa. So it's a pretty big emotional one because of my early season and where I was at, and to have a good result is it's pretty exciting, and I'm on the fence whether to be happy or not because it's so damn close to that win, and I've been chasing that forever, it seems, but years and years ahead, and we get another shot in 6 days, and it's at altitude and a lot of climbing and technical, so I'm really looking forward to that already.
We saw you attack Yolanda on the last lap. Were you always confident you could get past her and stay past her?
Yeah, I mean, they did do a lot of work at the start, and I wasn't sure where I was at just yet and what I could do or what I was capable of today, so just trying to play it smart, and then there was a bit of team tactics there, and the gap did form, and just wasn't quite able to get around her, and then it was chasing, and then I was just like, turn yourself inside out, trying to bring Maya back and get that win, but just came up a few seconds short this week.
Emily, a great race. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone that was supporting.
Very gracious in defeat. She must be frustrated, but still chasing that first win. Like she said, though, only 6 days till the next one. She could go well in Andorra.
I think too. She did a good preparation with that altitude in Livigno, what she has done. She's used to the time zone as well. And it doesn't take that long anymore for a win.
Okay, well, we'll see. Still plenty more action from here in Val di Sole. The men's race is coming up. I think it's going to be something pretty special today. We know that Mathieu van der Poel, another man chasing the first World Cup mountain bike win, is on form. He showed us that on Friday night. Can he take it to Nino Schurter? It's going to be a good one, but looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. With the experience from the women's race, it's going to be a great one again.
I'm excited. Well, Bart, we need to get a move on because it's coming up in about half an hour's time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you at home. We'll be right back with the men.
See you soon.